Netoge no Yome no Onnanoko ga. Oh man, what the heck is this? Netoge no
Netoge no
Yome
Yome Onnanoko
janai
janai
to
to
omotta.
omotta.
Hey guys, Neto again. Welcome to another video. I'm back again with Mr. S.
Hey, what's going on?
Today we're going to be talking about the Spring Anime 2016. Usually the Spring Anime has the most popular and best anime of the year. So first up is KOUTESTSUJOU no KABANERI by Wit Studio. It's a fantasy action adventure and it's an original series. Basically it's a steampunk Japan. The humans are living in big fortresses called stations. The enemy are zombie-like creatures with steel hearts called kabane. The only way to kill them is to pierce that heart. There are big locomotives that are used to travel between each station. And basically, if you watch any of the visuals, you're going to think Attack on Titan. And you're not too far off because the director is from Attack on Titan and Death Note and High School of the Dead. What do you think, Mr. S?
Well, in addition to the director from Shingeki, the studio from Shingeki, they also have the music creator, the background music guy. So, if you watched anything from Shingeki no Kyojin or Aldona Zero, he's going to be in that too. So when you're watching the previews, you're going to get that vibe from it. Also, just in case you guys didn't, maybe not have caught it, the character designer is Mikimoto, who also originally did the character designs for Macross. So that's why he kind of got a retro look to a lot of the characters in here.
I think one of the characters is basically like a Min-Mei copy, right?
Well, there's a Moon-Mei, which is the lead female.
Right.
The main character, I think his name is Ikoma. He kind of looks like a cross between Max and somebody else from Macross. So we'll see how that turns out. But, so far what we've seen of the visuals, there's a lot of, I don't know, kind of related things to Shingeki. It's not officially related, but we did see like some sort of like high pressure backpack of some kind that they're using around to jump and whatnot. So we'll see how it turns out.
Okay.
One of the things out here that we kind of have to deal with here in the U.S. is that Amazon picked up the distribution rights for this one, so I'm going to have to end up going to this guy's place to watch this series. So just be forewarned, if you're in the United States, I think Canada and maybe Mexico, you may have to find somebody who's got Amazon Prime to watch this one.
Yeah, that sucks. Oh well. So next up, Mr. S?
Okay, so the next series that I'm currently looking at, or looking forward to looking at, is something called KUROMUKURO. It's by PA Works. It's their 15th anniversary this year, so they're doing an original anime. Director, his name is Okamura Tensai. He worked on Seven Deadly Sins, Darker Than Black. He did some storyboarding for Cowboy Bebop and Evangelion. So, yeah, he's been in the industry for a while, so I'm hoping this is going to turn out to be good. Series composition is by Ryo Higaki, who's worked on another Moribito in the Eccentric Family. Character designer is Yuriko Ishii. She worked on another, A Lull in the Sea, and Persona Trinity Soul. So, they got a pretty good staff on hand. Main character is Mao. She was Verona and Durara and Yuri in School Law, or Gakogurashi. So basically the premise of this one, it's a science fiction type anime set. I don't know, I think it's kind of near future. So they're doing some sort of reclamation work or some work on a dam, and they find some sort of artifact. And, because of that, they kind of build this, I think it's like a robotics center or research center around it. But the thing is that in the website itself, it says this, and then you kind of see a picture of a samurai, and they don't really connect it. It's on the website itself, so we're not exactly sure how it's going to turn out, but, it's got a mech, it's got a samurai, sounds interesting enough to look into, so This is going to be what I'll be watching this season.
Oh, okay, that sounds interesting. So the next one on my list is Bungo Stray Dogs. It's done by the studio Bones. It's a mystery, supernatural, and it's based off the manga. The premise is basically a kid named Atsushi. He's an orphan, and he kind of lost his home and his orphanage. He's basically out on the riverbanks. He sees a guy trying to commit suicide, tries to help him out, finds out he's a part of a detective agency that research like supernatural things. The detectives have supernatural powers, and basically he goes on an adventure with them. Sounds interesting. I always like the mystery and then supernatural elements. So animation style looks pretty good. The director has done Soul Eater and Sailor Moon. The voice actor has done a lot of popular series: Death Note, Soul Eater, Durara, Steins Gate. I mean, he's in a lot of pretty well-known anime.
Alright, so the next one on my list is FURI. The character designer is Atto from Nonon Byori. There's a military advisor attached to this thing too.
Okay.
Takaaki Suzuki, who's credited with the original concept of this thing. Animation Studios, Studio IMS. Director is Yu Nobuta. He's done a couple things on Fairy Tail and Code Geass.
Okay.
Series composition is Reiko Yoshida. She also worked on Girls in Panzer, Aria, Bakuman, Digimon, Haruchika, and worked on Nonon Byori and Shirobako as well.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of staff members on here who've worked on things in the past that I've liked, so that's why I'm kind of interested in this one. Basically, the premise is that 100 years before the current timeline, there was some sort of disaster where the Japan tectonic plate had kind of fallen into the ocean. So that given rise to various cities that are kind of floating cities, and because of the increased amount of maritime traffic, what's called various jobs that sprouted out of this. So the setting is a technical girls' school in Yokohama, where they're kind of training to be. It seems like some sort of like kind of Coast Guard sort of vibe to it. They may be directing traffic. We'll see how it turns out. The cast is huge. As of right now, I think they announced 16 main characters. I'm gonna see how this one turns out, but for the most part, it's probably gonna be a slice of life type. What's called anime. So something I'm looking forward to. It strays a little bit from the action stuff I typically watch, but if you guys have been watching this channel, I kind of do slice of life as well. So
cool. All right. Okay, the next one on my list is Boku no Hero Academia. It's also done by the studio Bones. It's a comedy, adventure, shonen. It is based on a manga. Basically, the main character, he's a hero. Although the world is kind of like a hero world, and everyone has powers called quirks. You kind of get it when you go through puberty. Unfortunately, the main character doesn't get a quirk until he meets one of the Earth's mightiest heroes, All Might, and somehow he gains his quirk, and he gets enrolled into one of the finest hero academy. The director has done Classroom Crisis, which we talked about before, and Gundam Build Fighters. The main male VA, he is the main voice for the main character in Yowashi Pedal. I mean, if you know me, I typically like the hero type, Shonen Jump kind of series. I'm kind of a kid at heart in that kind of sense. So, I'm looking forward to just a lot of action, fun stuff. Okay, so the next one is on both our lists. It's called MAYOIGA. It's done by the studio Diomeda. The director has done various types of anime: Girls in Panzer, Prison School, Shirobako, Legend of Koizumi, which is the Prime Minister doing mahjong, and Exaholic. It's a mystery, maybe kind of supernatural adventure type of anime. It's actually an original series. The premise is a shady kind of bus tour. 30 people join this tour. They go to a small village called Nanakimura, And I guess it's kind of a special place. It's kind of a mysterious place. And they're all there just to find out what the secret of this place is. And each of these individuals have different reasons to go there. I know there's a lot of characters, and hopefully they develop them very well. What's your take, Mr. S?
Okay, well, my take on this one is that it's another series directed by Tsutomu Mizushima, as you know, that we just mentioned briefly that, yeah, Girls in Panzer, Shirobako, and Prison School, 3 very different shows.
Very different.
That, well, this guy's got range of what he can direct. Series composition is done by Mari Okada. She's currently doing current Gundam. She's also done work for Toradora and Black Butler. She's also working on Kiznaiver as well. So, she's pretty busy. Character design is by somebody who's relatively new, Naomi Ide, but she did work on Kankore from last year. There's mystery, drama, psychological. There isn't a lot out there on the actual premise other than what's on the net right now. As of right now, I think they might have mentioned 12, 13 cast members. But, I'm trying to see where they factor in the other 30. So from what I've seen of the website so far, it looks like some of these characters, they're trying to kind of go away from their daily lives and, work at something out in this village where it seems like it's kind of this urban rumor or kind of utopian sort of vibe to it, but not a lot is really known about that village. If you go on the website, Mayoiga is usually written in katakana, but if you look at the kanji itself, the last part is house, and the first part is it's kind of vague. It's kind of like this vague meaning for Mayo. So there is meaning in the name of the title itself, and we're just gonna have to see how this one turns out. But because of the stat that's on this one's something I'm looking forward to.
Okay, great. So the next one on both of our lists is Re:Zero Kara Hajimeru Isekai Seikatsu. It's done by a studio called White Fox. It's kind of a drama, fantasy, and it actually came from a light novel. The director hasn't really done so much, but some of the VA staff are pretty well known for the anime that we've been watching. The male VA has done Shimoneta, is the one we did last year. He's also one of the VAs for a show that Mr. S has mentioned, KUROMUKURO, and he's also Arslan from The Legend of Arslan. The female VA has done Konosuba, which we just mentioned in our winter review. She is the crazy explosion mage, and she's also the voice actress for Gakko Kurashi, and she actually sings the opening theme song for it.
So the premise of this particular story is that there is a high school named Subaru Natsuki who is somehow transported into an alternate world where he runs into this beautiful silver-haired elf girl.
Elves, yeah.
Yeah, elves. So saves him upon first meeting him, and so he goes to return the favor. But there's something that happens. Both characters get killed. This is not a spoiler. This is actually built into the novel, the plot, the manga, and he keeps on resurrecting. So each time he resurrects, he's got to figure out what's going on, what had gone wrong before, and how to address it. And so, because of this, I wouldn't say it's a special power or anything. It's just that it's a reset feature of him being there. And there's a lot of mystery to this one because he's got to figure out what had gone wrong, work backwards, talk to people there, even though he's an outsider from another world. So I think the light novel's been going on for a while. I went and read the manga. I enjoyed it, just on a whim. And so that's why I'm kind of looking forward to watching this one.
I mean, it's an interesting premise. I kind of imagine it's a mix between a lot of genres. Not sure if it's kind of a trapped in a game kind of thing, or it's just basically, different worlds like Gate or something. And I think we're both looking forward to this one.
Alright, so the next show that's on my particular list is Flying Witch. This one's brought to you by JC staff. The director is Katsushi Sakurabi. So he's done various work on Railgun, Index, Heaven's Memo Pad, and Little Busters. Yeah, those are all associated with JC staff, so looks like they like him, so they keep on bringing him back for more work. Composition is done by Deko Akao, I think, and she worked on Norigami, Snow White with red hair. At least these are the major ones that she's worked on. Okay, so the premise of Flying Witch is that the main character, Makoto, goes to Aomori, Japan, and she's actually a professional witch who used to live in Yokohama, but goes up north to live with some of her cousins at Aomori. So, you know, it's going to be a slice of life sort of thing. There's going to be a lot of background, nice scenery, that sort of thing. Interactions between the characters. There is kind of a Kiki's Delivery Service vibe out of it, where you have kind of a witch in training going somewhere else, but not so much on the delivery with this one. Probably because she's from Yokohama, there's going to be some comparisons to being in a city versus being in the countryside. You're going to see those sorts of comparisons. I did read through the comic book, and when they first released it, so this is something I've been following for quite some time, so I was excited to see this materialize into an anime. So I'm hoping this turns out to be good, and yeah, we'll see how this one turns out.
So the last one on both of our lists is NETOGE no YOME ONNANOKO janai to omotta by Project Number 9. The translation is basically, did you think she was your internet game waifu? I guess? Or MMO waifu? NETOGE is like net games or internet games in Japanese. It's a comedy, ecchi, harem, school type of environment. I basically chose this because it has a long damn title, and usually those are pretty funny. One example is the Shimoneta. I'm not going to say the whole entire name, but that was a very long title, and that was funny as hell. So
Konosuba as well.
Konosuba, that's a long title. So the premise is a high school kid. He loves to play internet MMO games. He finds a female character online that he loves so much. He proposes to her, and guess what? He finds out that he's a guy. Yeah, I bet that happens to one of you guys, right? No? Anyways, later on he keeps on playing. I mean, he gets depressed, and he's very weary of people on the internet now, and he finds another female character who actually likes him and proposes to him. And so what do you think happens? Well, actually it turns out that she's a real female, and she's cute and has big tits like all the other female characters. But what did you think of this?
Okay, disclaimer, that doesn't happen all in real life. So nobody should take this thing seriously.
I wish that happened in real life.
So I blitzed the comic because the premise of this thing sounded so bizarre, and this was pretty damn funny. Okay. Watching the social train wreck of what happens with this, the MMORPG, well, the group that this guy is in, and this girl that, well, you know, there's some stuff that they have to solve in this, because, you know, it is one of these genres. So, yeah, I thought this, I read the comic, I thought the story was funny. I enjoyed the train wreck of everything that's happening there, and yeah, there's a little bit of, you know, trolling, you know, inter-character wise. So, you know, I think it fits in with at least the comedy levels that we usually, you know, enjoy in a show.
Yep. All right, cool. So that's it for the spring season. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think around April 2nd is when most things start in Japan. So. It'll depend on what kind of streaming services you guys have. For KABANERI, I'm going to have to bug this guy to watch it at his place.
I've got Prime.
And for everybody else, kind of check your local listings. And yeah, if you enjoy these things or have any other suggestions, let us know in the comments.
Cool. Yeah, so please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and see you guys later.